with some white hair, gray hair, right? Tall, long person. But that's not the case. Not very young, not very old. I think can gel up well with all of you. So meanwhile, he sets the presentation. Will just like to interact. I think all my previous speakers have done a great job in terms of setting the context, in terms of covering almost all the technical terms which were there with respect to the artificial intelligence. So I think my job becomes more easier, and we need not project the ticket, yeah, sure. So my job becomes more easy, and what I will cover in my presentation would be more with respect to academics, a bit of industry, okay, not getting much into the details of how the drug is getting discovered, right? And it's a PowerPoint. Sorry for this technical glitch. But yeah, as I mentioned, I'll be covering more from the aspect of what is applicable to you, what tools can you use actually in your day-to-day life, okay, when it comes to artificial intelligence. So as you can see the title, you can see the word pharmacy, wherein the spelling is slightly changed, and that is done with a purpose, because now AI has become actually a very, very integral part of pharmacy. It's no longer related just to your IT or any software companies, right, which even the previous speakers highlighted. So let's understand, how this pharmacy or artificial intelligence has actually led to an evolution in academics, industry, as well as patient care. Okay, do not forget, whatever we do today is for the patients, right? So let us try and understand how can we actually contribute to the betterment of healthcare and actually the patient care. Okay, so I think the introduction is already done. Just a disclaimer, all the views are personal views. Okay, this is basis my research that I have done via the internet, via the other academic sources, and I have no conflicts of interest to declare. Okay, so since we are talking about AI, generally people say do not use mobile phone in the presentation. I would say let's use mobile phone in our presentation. Okay, so can you scan this QR code? Don't worry, it's not my GPay number. I'm not asking for any money. Just scan this QR code. So it helps me to understand whether you're utilizing AI on a regular basis or not. Wow. People say they use AI on a regular basis. Then I think this session is not needed. Okay. Has everyone voted? Okay. So I think I've triggered the negative response also. Okay, fantastic. I think some of them use AI, but they don't know whether they are actually using AI or not, right? Bang on. So I think, with the majority of the people using AI, but for the benefit of these 13% of people or maybe 12% of people who feel they are not utilizing AI on a regular basis, let me show you which all AI tools are you using on a regular basis, okay? And trust me, there'll be not even a single person in this room who would have not utilized this. So let's see what all tools are these. So did you all kind of, unlock your phone with the help of a key? Was your phone locked? Did you use a key to unlock the physical key? No. I think everyone uses a face scan, or few people use a fingerprint. That's nothing but AI, right? I think everyone use these Google Maps to navigate themselves from the airport or the railway station to this venue. Netflix, I think, many people, all of us get recommendations that if you're using humor, you're used to watching humor, you'll get more recommendations in terms of humor, right? It's a very, very simple definition of AI. Even on Facebook, whatever content you search on Google, the similar ads is what you see. Okay? So my objective of this talk is to make the definition of AI very, very simple. Because many times, whenever we hear this term AI, okay, we say, oh my God, what is this? I don't know what is AI. But actually, AI is something that you are living with. Okay? And AI is nothing different. If I have to simplify the definition of artificial intelligence, okay, this is a textbook definition which says that it enables computers and machines to simulate human intelligence, okay, and problem solving capacities. In the previous slide deck, we learned that basically, you know, how the man evolved, how the mankind evolved, right? That was basically the logical thinking. So artificial intelligence is also on a similar lines. It's not rocket science. Of course, it may involve some other softwares or some technicalities. But from a definition per se, artificial intelligence is something which is very, very simple, right? It is just copying your human brain. Any software, any AI tool cannot be created without human intervention, right? So what you are doing, you are just copying the human brain and making it in a software or a hardware format, right? That is nothing but your artificial intelligence. So tomorrow, if someone says about AI, don't get worried. Think about it that, okay, this is something that you can apply. So in this talk, I want to stimulate your thought process in terms of how can you contribute to AI. Being pharmacist, we may not be the masters in your Javas and your IT language, right? I'm sorry for the software guys if I'm using wrong terminologies, but yeah, we don't know that. But as a pharmacist, how can you enable that so that with the help of a technical person, you can develop something for the betterment of the patients, for the betterment of the society, right? So this is a typical graph. I think in the first slide deck, we learned about that AI was actually kind of invented in 1960s. That's true. But now it's getting more and more popular. So if you look at the sales graph, from 2018, the market was, you know, very less. Currently, it is close to $100 billion. That's big, the opportunity that is there in the artificial intelligence market, and it's booming. So where is it majorly booming? It's majorly booming if you see 65% is on the software platforms. When I say software and hardware, so hardware would be more from a robotic perspective. Software would be what we use, like the typical chat GPTs, which everyone knows, right? And I think I'm going to talk about chat GPT in my slides ahead, because I think every student likes to use chat GPT. Yeah, I can see some smiling faces, good and bad both. We'll learn about it. Okay, so currently, why this, you know, AI is boosting up, why this market is growing so heavily? The only simple reason is that AI is helping you to do your business in a much profitable manner as compared to the past. I think in the last slide deck we learned it took us 20 years to develop a particular drug, right? But with the help of AI tools, what you can do is you can cut short that time. You're actually minimizing your resources. Why? Because you are maybe deploying a scientist who is working on a particular drug, he's doing research, and then after 5 years he comes out, oh, this failed. This has side effect. So ultimately, you have wasted time, you have wasted money, you have wasted resources, you have wasted so many chemicals, your apparatus were occupied doing that particular job, right? So when you cut down this timeline, automatically your efficiency as well as profitability goes up. So I think this is the most important aspect that we all should appreciate in healthcare, is that AI would actually help you enhance your profitability. And the estimates, the global estimates tell you that it's close to 55%. However, currently, when, you know, I did a survey to check on, you know, where all, you know, these people are using artificial intelligence, I think you can see the most common reasons that people use AI is to respond to a text, to an email, or send a birthday wishes, or drafting a letter or something. That's where we are currently utilizing AI, right? Few others also on planning a travel itinerary, crafting an email, preparing for a job interview, what are the probable questions, writing a social media post. I would share my personal experience. Okay, I belong to sales and marketing. So we all know that we also hire some medical reps, right? Sometimes these medical reps are not very, very qualified also. I wrote an email to a medical rep saying that, you know, wow, you are doing a great job. This is your sales, this is your achievement, this is your growth. So I think you are contributing very nicely to the organization. The response which I got from that person, I was like, my God, even I couldn't write this English. It clearly told me that he used a AI-based tool to respond to my email. right? So that's where we are currently using, but I think the usage can be better in different domains, okay, that can help you. One more thing, I think I was observing a lot of presentations, I was interacting with people, and I've been doing that since a long time, since, I've been assigned this topic of AI. Many people told me, as I mentioned, first of all, people think AI is complicated. So people told me, oh, you're going to talk about AI? Do you know softwares? So I said, no, I don't know softwares. Then how can you talk about AI? So that was the first perception. The second perception, and when I Googled also a lot of examples, many people tell me that AI is for MNCs. AI is for, Western world. It's not for India. Okay, we are still evolving. There's a lot of work to be done. In India, there's no technology. I also thought about it. But there's one fact which will break this myth. And I think one presentation before to this actually told us that how India is contributing to this particular level, not only globally, but also at a regulatory standpoint, right? So this is the fact that India today ranks third in the world in terms of high quality research publications in artificial intelligence, right? We are always proud of talking, about our volumes that India is the pharmacy of the world. But next time, comma, add this one more line, that we are the third largest contributor, not only to research, but high quality research in the domain of artificial intelligence. So now if you had come with a mindset that AI is not for India, then my friends, I think you are living in a wrong world, or maybe a wrong India. India has progressed, and we have made substantial progress in this field, and I think we are doing a great job. Of course, more to be done. So in this presentation, I'll be covering three aspects: academics, industry, patient care. While this topic is on artificial intelligence, human intelligence was used to prepare this presentation. Once again, can we please scan the QR code so that I understand what is this audience? Is this audience majorly student, academician, or from the industry? Okay. All right. Majority students, mix of academician and industry professionals, and yeah. Okay, the responses are still coming and we can see the changes. Okay. All right. So I think majority are from, the academics. If I club students also into that, I think majority from the academics. The only reason why I ask this is that since I'm going to cover three aspects, I can focus more on the aspect which is more relevant to the audience, right? And that is what exactly AI also does. Simple? Cool. So let's go to academics. How AI can contribute to academics. And in this particular section, I'm also going to talk about few tools that you can use in your research. Okay? And when I say this, the disclaimer or the eternal truth is that no one can replace our teachers. Okay? So while we talk about use of AI in academics, but do not forget the importance of our teachers in our life. AI can guide you up to an extent, but the power of teachers is something which is unmatched, right? So with this disclaimer, let's dwell into this topic of what exactly AI can do in academics, right? Going back to the same slide, AI not for India. If I look at the most valued edtech startup, that is educational startup, right? Then we are very proud that the first rank is backed by India. In the entire list, you can see there are three players from India who are actually mentioned in this educational tech startup basis the value, right? And the first rank is proudly by India. So yes, we are doing a considerable job in this particular arena. So what are the ways AI can actually enhance your pharmaceutical education? Number one is data analysis and visualization, which is also true for the other industrial purpose, right? So what does AI do? So we all know that in pharmacy, we study lot of pharmacokinetics, lot of pharmacodynamics data, right? Some data are very complex. There are a lot of numbers which are involved. So AI can help you simplify that and make you understand in a much simplified manner. Let's take an example of a teacher and a student. Not every student loves pharmacology. Not every student loves pharmacognosy also, right? Not every student loves medicinal chemistry. And as I'm, calling out the subject names, I can see smile widening on their face. Yes, I don't like pharm chem. Yes, I don't like Sutex, right? So here, with the analysis, with how the student is progressing, what are the scores of the student in a particular practical examination or in a theory paper or in Viva, AI can actually help professors understand the interest area of the student. And basis that, the professors can guide the students that, oh, this person is interested in medchem. Let me handle him this, and so that, that person can be much more stronger in that. Let me give him some research projects in this particular area, right? So that is the power of AI. That is what I meant by data analysis and visualization. Second is personalized learning. Again, repeating the same point, basis the identified needs, the student can be coached on that particular area. Personalized learning, you can simulate real world scenarios. In the further slides, I will show you how you can actually simplify your presentations. Like generally we have a presentation which is full of text. If you want to explain a heart, we would say, okay, these are the 4 chambers and XYZ, we have a normal diagram. But sometimes we leave it to the imagination of the student. That, oh, imagine if it was this way. Imagine you are going into the heart. No, boss. We have some limitations. I don't know how to go inside the heart. I don't know how does the heart look internally. Okay, whatever you are showing on the board or in the slide, I know that. So if I'm able to actually demonstrate how does the heart look internally, how does the drug travel, okay, right from the oral cavity until my digestive tract or up till the final penultimate point of action, I think if I'm able to do that, my students would be able to understand it in a much better and a simplified manner, and this way they will be able to remember it for a long time. Chatbots and virtual assistants. So we all know that we all have a life, we have family. So after a point in time, we have to get back to our family, spend some time with them. So we cannot be available 24/7. But yes, some people may like to work in the night time on a research project. So what if that person is stuck that time? So chatbots and these virtual assistants can actually help you to give you answer immediately. They can guide you in that particular direction. That time if your professor is not available and you're working on you have a very fantastic idea and you want to actually crack that, with the help of chatbot, it can be directed you to a particular reference or those research papers which will further validate your hypothesis or maybe contribute to your thought process, right? So these are the ways AI can be used in pharmaceutical education. So I'm going to talk about few tools. Okay, again, no conflict of interest. The first tool is Semantic Scholar. So earlier days, I'm sure a lot of academicians who are here would agree that they used to go to the library, take out books, use lot of research papers, right? If I want research papers on a particular topic, what I can do is, in this Semantic Scholar, I just need to type the title. Basis that, I get all the relevant papers on that particular research topic. Not only that, in front of that paper, I also get a short summary. Okay, I can read that short summary and identify whether this paper is useful for my research or not. So I need not go through all 200 papers that we typically do in a literature review process. I can just read the gist. Oh, wow, this paper meets my requirement, and that's when I open that paper and study the paper in detail, right? Again, this is a shortcut to identify, but not a shortcut to your research. It doesn't mean that you pick up that and prepare a good abstract and submit it to a publication. Doesn't happen that way. It is a shortcut just to identify which paper is actually relevant for your research. This Quillboard, this second tool will be liked by teachers. Why? Because if you have used this semantic scholar and used a shortcut and copy pasted everything right from that AI into a paper and submitted as an assignment to your professor, in Quillboard, if your professor just uploads that research paper, your academician will get to know what percentage of content has been generated via AI, what percentage is copy paste. Okay? So be careful while using any AI tool. The third one is Scribr. We all agree English is just a medium of communication. It is not a marker of your intelligence, right? So sometimes it may happen, you make mistakes. A person knowing Hindi may know very good about pharmaceutics or a particular drug. He wants to write, but he doesn't know how to write in English, so he may make certain mistakes. How to rectify them? Just go to Scribr, upload your paper, automatically you will get to know what are the mistakes. If you want to accept those suggestions, get it corrected there and there. So it basically does the job of proofreading. The fourth tool is HyperWrite. So many times with lot of research papers and lot of literature review, we get confused. We know what to do, but we get confused how to write a hypothesis. Okay, what would be my hypothesis? What would be my alternate hypothesis, or what would be my null hypothesis? Right? We sometimes get confused in that. So this HyperWrite can actually review whatever you have done in terms of a literature review and what would be the probable hypothesis for that particular paper. So you can regenerate the hypothesis and also validate it. So these are the 4 tools which I feel are very important and can actually shorten your time for research and contribute substantially to your research work. And she used to hold it this way to show to me that this is the bond, this is how the 3D model looks like. But now, with this particular website, mallview.org, you can just click on that website, add whichever bonds you want on C and N, and this particular, on the black portion that you can see, you can just rotate the molecule. And you can actually see how the molecule looks like. Where is that double bond? Where is that single bond? Where is that triple bond? Simple, but effective. The next one which I mentioned about anatomy, I don't know how the heart looks internally, but yeah, here with a licensed version, you can actually dissect a human being, try and understand the actual anatomy of a heart, lung, brain, whatever it is, right? And that's how you can make your learning more interesting and more interactive. So now, of course, few tools are free, few tools come with a price. So at a college level, I'm sure, a license subscription can be taken on an annual basis, and that's how that can be shared between the department and can be used. Again, these are just few of the examples. There are many more tools which are already available on the internet. Yeah, this is an important tool which I have also personally used when it comes to references. So when I was actually, preparing for my thesis and everything, I found that, lot of references were in a very unstructured format. I was struggling with, where my reference is. So this tool of Mendeley's, okay, you just upload all your research papers in this Mendeley tool, okay, and it will arrange it in a library format. Not only this, with Mendeley's site, what you can do is the typical referencing style, whether it's a Vancouver style of referencing or IEEE or the American Sociology Association, whatever type of referencing you want, immediately it can generate that particular referencing pattern which can be used in your research paper, right? If you kind of link your Mendeley with your research paper, whenever you click on that particular reference, it will automatically take you to the reference and that point which will be highlighted. So all these tools are just trying to improve efficiency. They are just trying to shorten the time so that you can be more productive and you can invest your time in other important aspects and not just writing, oh, this is how I write a Vancouver style of referencing. I know I've written Vancouver style of referencing 10 times. Writing it for 20 times will not change the Vancouver style of referencing, right? So with this tool, let me give that part to Mendeley. Yeah, so I was talking about Chat GPT, right? So frequently asked questions by students. Is Chat GPT good for academic research, right? Because everyone criticizes Chat GPT while we appreciate the the time in which it generates response, but many times researchers also kind of talk negative about Chat GPT. So the question is, can I use Chat GPT in my research? Yes, you can use, but as I mentioned, just to support and not generate your entire assignment out of it, right? You can use it to support your academic research. You can use it for brainstorming. You can use it for idea generation, right? You can use it to identify the relevant resources for your research project, right? But never be solely dependent on ChatGPT. Again, can I use AI? Yes, you can, but do not replace it completely with your own work. So where you can use it to identify research gaps. As I mentioned, reading hundreds of literatures and then writing individual research gaps becomes time consuming. So with this, you can use it to identify research gaps. Can AI write review articles? Yes, it can, but not recommended at all. Okay? Because even if you write a review article, you submit it for publication, plagiarism will tell you, oh, this is 80%. What is generally accepted is below 10%, right? So I would not recommend you to write any review article with that. Can professors detect AI? I already mentioned and I've already given away the tool to your professors that yes, they can detect AI writing. Okay. One more tool is the Turnitin. So Turnitin generally gives you the plagiarism report, but apart from that, the AI writing detection is also an add-on benefit with Turnitin. Talking about industry, since we have limited industry colleagues, I would run through a bit fast in this section. So we already have learned about enhanced drug discovery. We have learned about optimizing the manufacturing processes. We have learned about the personalized medicine advancement and also the regulatory and the compliance data security which is there. So I just wanted to highlight 2 drugs which are in real world generated with the help of AI. Okay, so I think in the previous presentation also we saw some drugs which were repurposed and we saw the example that yes, AI can actually give you drugs. They can, I think, give bio waivers also. That's what was highlighted, right? So retinoid and this obsessive compulsive disorder drug were actually been invented with the help of AI. Okay, so now how do I use AI in the industry? Let's assume a company called as IPC Pharmaceutical, just for representation. This drug, this company kind of markets drug for gout. I hope everyone understands what is gout, right? There are 2 brands which are there for gout. One is Exloric, other one is Febunext. Okay, now Exloric is allopurinol and Febunext is your febuxostat. 2 different molecules used for the same indication. Okay. So which doctor will you promote gout drug? Pulmonologist or an orthopedician? Common sense, right? So my medical rep will go to an orthopedician and promote the drug. So let's go to an orthopedician. Okay. Now let's assume we have Dr. Jaipal Reddy as our orthopedician, who is sitting right here. He's a very senior orthopedician, well renowned. We go to his clinic, okay, and then we try and promote the drugs. Which drug will you promote to this doctor? Febunext or Exloric? Or both? Febunext is febuxostat, Exloric is allopurinol, two different molecules used for the same indication, for the treatment of gout. And you are meeting Dr. Jaipal Reddy, which drug will you promote? He is a very senior consultant orthopedician, doesn't have much time. Okay, so people are saying Febunext. Few people are saying Exloric, but I think majority, okay, both. Okay, without spending much time on this, can I ask why? People who have reported Febunext, why Febunext? What makes you say that he will write febuxostat? Or people who are saying Exloric, what makes you feel that he will write allopurinol? Or both the drugs? You are wasting doctor's time. So, the simplest way is to understand the preference of the doctor. In the first instant, without promoting any brand or molecule, in my first interaction, I send an email to the doctor which has got these 6 tabs. Okay? As I mentioned, doctor is a senior consultant, so he knows, well-read academician. Now, I send this first email to the doctor. Which section will the doctor click? For example, if the doctor clicks on the section of allopurinol, that means the doctor is more interested in allopurinol. Right? If the doctor is more interested in the guidelines or the clinical trials, that means I need to promote my brand basis whatever was mentioned in that particular clinical trial. So what I am trying to do, I am trying to understand the preference of the doctor without annoying him. So my next email or my next interaction with the doctor would be basis the click that he has made in it. So if he selected allopurinol, my next email will be all the studies on allopurinol. If he selected febuxostat, my next email will be basis febuxostat. And when I meet the doctor in person, I'm gonna promote Febuxonext or whatever that brand was rather than allopurinol. So this is how, in simplified manner, you can use AI to understand the preferences of your customer and then do a targeted promotion so that you don't waste resources, you align with the customer's expectation, and ultimately you get what you want. Right? So these are few examples. There are a lot of examples wherein you give a lot of data. I think Karmarkar sir mentioned about Barshikar sir mentioned about data. That data is the key for AI. So with this particular tool, I understand when did I meet that doctor, whether that doctor attended a particular CME or not, who is the sphere of influence for that doctor, which doctor he follows, right? So basis all this information, I can actually have a targeted approach. AI for accurate forecasting, I can actually use it to predict what are the seasonal variations, are there any demand fluctuation, right? So for example, if I'm selling an asthma medication, then I need to build up my inventories during winters and monsoon. Why? Because that's the time wherein lot of exacerbation happens. So I cannot have the inventory which was there in Jan or in the month of April because my demand will go up. So AI uses real-time data to actually predict the demand levels and basis that help you forecast the demand, and that's how this information will be helpful for your supply chain team to actually plan your inventories. Okay. Last poll for the day. I am sleeping with my eyes open. I am already asleep, hence can't answer. No one is responding. So I can assume everyone is awake. Question is not understood. So currently, I am sleeping with my eyes wide open, or I have already slept and hence I cannot answer the poll. Yeah. So I think except for one person, everyone is attentive. Great. So just wanted to tell you, in India, we are already utilizing this for patient care. So there are these list of hospitals which are actually utilizing AI for medical imaging advancement. So this typically uses for your X-rays, for all your scans which are there, your CT scan, right? It can give you personalized treatment plans for your patient. So a patient who is having diabetes along with any other comorbidity, which drugs to be given to that particular patient, what are the dietary recommendation, what was the history, basis that they manage the patients well. Narana uses Microsoft Azure. I think we saw the video, the classical video, and that actually helps to understand what is the patient footfall, what basis the particular city, what is the density of population there, and what is the patient footfall that I can expect. But you're telling me all these are corporate hospitals. We don't have money for corporate hospitals, right? Indian patients are poor. So here is the answer. Even AIMS has been using artificial intelligence. AIMS has been able to successfully, develop a technology for early detection of cancer. One more app which helps diabetes patient. It gives recommendation that foods that are healthy, the quantity of food that you should be eating, the glycemic index of the patient. All these apps are nothing but for management of patients. One very revolutionary example in respiratory care. Okay, diagnosing asthma is a very, very difficult thing. We use spirometry, and generally symptoms when they come up, like the exacerbations when they come up, patient doesn't understand what to do. With this particular chip, which is there on the neck, it actually analyzes the sound. Okay, it analyzes the vibrations, it analyzes the intensity of cough, and basis that it can tell you whether the patient will have an exacerbation of asthma or not. All these things, all these examples are just to stimulate your thought. You may not know software, but understand what the patient needs. How can you contribute to the patients? This is one app for drug-drug interactions. You can, just type in the drug, automatically things will come up. So a typical SWOT analysis of AI for the Indian industry. So yes, the strength is it increases efficiency, precision, and innovation. The weakness is the initial cost of investment is high. The technical expertise required is more. Complexity is slightly on the higher side. The opportunities that it poses to our Indian market is that, of course, newer treatment options can come in. We can provide improved care to our patients, and the threats are ethical concerns and the data security, right? Because AI requires a lot of data, and if the data gets leaked, all your private information about the patient, which shouldn't go to an organization, also goes there. So this is a big threat which we need to work upon. All right, just 2 minutes. Yeah. So when we talk about India, Government of India has launched this particular program, that is India AI. This program basically supports all the research in the field of artificial intelligence. Okay, this website gives you a lot of tools and lot of research papers which are already available and done in the domain of artificial intelligence. So for us, wherein we don't know where to learn the technical aspects of AI, Government of India has already uploaded lot of courses. If you observe the red highlighted section, all these courses are free of cost. So you need not go anywhere. Okay, of course, to learn advances, you need to invest a lot. But yes, for the basics, to trigger that thought, it's already available at free of cost. All the research publications are available at a free of cost. So at the end, I would say that if someone asks, are you concerned about the increase in artificial intelligence? I would say no, I'm not concerned about the increase in artificial intelligence. But yes, what I'm more concerned about is decrease in the human intelligence. So let's not forget, human intelligence has created artificial intelligence, right? So let not artificial intelligence overpower you, okay? And let's ensure that we continue to use our brain and contribute to the patient care, right? So that's it from my side. Let's stay in touch. It's the era of digital. If you want to stay connected, just scan the QR code. We'll be connected on LinkedIn. Thank you.